Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. Today we will be doing a kit and chat. Now, I'm kind of going with the flow on whether or not this will be a choose accessories with me type of kit and chat. I'm filming very late on Sunday, so I don't know, I haven't decided if I'm feeling it or not. So this could potentially be a choose accessories with me. It might just be a regular kit and chat. My nieces were here for a sleepover. They just left, so we have some things to talk about. And since I will be kitting up for Night Court November, I believe is the hashtag, I found a book tag with some book lover questions that I thought we could go through together. You guys know I love a good tag, so yeah. All right, so I am kitting up the painting here of Lucian from ACOTAR. There are two versions of this painting. There's the shirtless version, and then about a week after I ordered the shirtless version, the version of Lucian with a top on became available. So I have the not safe for work version, which is fine because Lucian is one of my favorite characters in ACOTAR. So I'm just trimming off the, I don't know what you would call it, like the, what do you call it? The number, I guess, the drill number, not the DMC, but like the order number. I don't like to put that on my containers, so I trim it off. You can certainly keep it, but I'm doing that. This Jaded Gem Shop kit does have a pre-cut sticker sheet, which is awesome. I will be using my stair storage system. This is a stamp storage container from Joann's, and I'll be using my large Tic Tac style containers. I have them all in a box, so I will be grabbing them out of the box and loading up our container. I will link this down below. Now I will say, if you are thinking about picking one of these up, I'll still link it, but maybe come back for the link in, like, as we get closer to Black Friday. I got one of these on sale for like really cheap last year, so maybe like bookmark the link and then come back to it as we get closer to the sales. Same with these containers from Amazon. I think I got these on sale last Black Friday as well. So we have square drills. We have 2 bags of drills here that we will be working through. They do look quite staticky, so I do have some pre-cut dryer sheets. I might have to pause in between filming to grab some more. I have a hot chocolate in my I Love TT mug. I don't know if you can see that, but it is there. And I did go ahead and grab my washi tape for this project, which I tend to do even if we're choosing accessories together. So with all of that, I think we can get going. I'm going to use this really pretty vine tape. I thought it kind of went with the colors of the painting. That's what I'm going to use to make my sections and to do the border. Since there is a rose gold, I just pulled a rose gold tape for my containers. So let me get this open. Before I started filming, Steven did tell me to apologize on his behalf. If you hear him coughing in the background, he is still kind of fighting that cold that's been going around, and he was working in our attic all weekend, getting us some additional insulation up there. So you might hear him coughing, but it's okay. All right, let me see how these are organized. Oh yeah, okay, I love, that's right, I love how Jade organizes her drills. So let me just get everything in somewhat of an order. 310. I guess these aren't fully in order like I was expecting, but that's okay. 4. 3, 500, got 900s, 33. 950. I will have to open both bags. For some reason, I thought that she did them a little bit more in order, but that's okay. I still do like how she organizes her drills. But let me just get these sorted really quickly. 39. All right, so I guess while I do this, I can start telling you about my week. Since our last little catch up, I did not have a video for you guys on Friday. I just was not able to get anything filmed. I can't even remember at this point. Oh, okay, so I was off work on Friday and I was like, perfect, I'll just film Friday morning and I'll post Friday afternoon. It did not happen. Steven and his dad started working on the roof and I was not able to get a video filmed before they were like being loud right above me. So unfortunately there was no video, which I was bummed about, but that's okay. Also, I cannot tell you what the videos are for this week because my nieces were here all weekend, which was great. Like, I love when they're here, so it's totally fine. But I was not able to get anything pre-filmed, so I don't quite know what videos that you guys are going to get this week. I know that there will be a post review, at least, because I did finish Poppy, which I can't wait to show you guys. And I did ask you guys last week if you would still be interested in seeing a post review, even though Diamond Shop is no longer in business. And those of you that answered said yes. So I am going to do the post review. I know some people aren't going to watch it. Some people are probably going to have something to say about it, but it's probably going to be more of like a show and tell type of post review rather than a full post review, if that makes sense. 30. Okay, so we have all of our drills. Let me just kind of make a little bit of space for us over here. So yeah, it'll probably be a little bit more of like a show and tell as opposed to a full-on post review, because obviously you cannot buy Diamond Shop kits anymore. As for Wednesday's video, not a clue yet. We'll get there. I'll figure something out. I already have a container out. All right, let's do this. So my nieces were here. They came Saturday afternoon, and they have told me that they are now obsessed with diamond painting, which, can I just tell you, makes me so freaking happy. Is this going to be long enough? Because I do not want to trim all of these labels. No, but I think I can live with it. So they have diamond painted when they're here. They have diamond paintings that stay here. They have their own little pens and trays and everything. So they were like, can we diamond paint? And I was like, sure, why not? And I guess one of their cousins has started diamond painting from their dad's side. They don't have any cousins on my sister's side. It's just the two of us. So their cousin started diamond painting, so now they're like really into diamond painting. So they're like, can we take our kids home? Sure, I don't care. And then I let them go through all of my like non-licensed diamond painting kits, because honestly at this point, like, I'm not going to do them. I did save a couple of little like projects for myself when I need, you know, just something small to work on, but I don't share unlicensed artwork on my channel anymore, or I try not to at least. So I'll put a picture up here of them going through, sorting through what I had. Like I have, I don't know, Fancel sent me like a diamond painting that has an L with like some flowers. I kept that one. I kept a couple of special drill ones in case I need just like a little something to work on, which I don't often do. I did start a little Christmas wreath, which was cute while they were here. I have not, oops, dropped that. I haven't finished it yet, but basically everything else they took. They divvied it all up, and the next time they have a sleepover with their friends, they're gonna let them pick one, and so that was cute. I was like, yes, diamond painters. So I'm going to do some, I think I'm gonna do like a diamond painting toolkit or something for Christmas. I had them look on the Diamond Art Club Amazon page. They're both big into Harry Potter, so there's some really cute little Harry Potter kits available on the Amazon storefront. So I think I'm going to do some like diamond painting goodies for Christmas, which will be fun. I don't have anybody in my like day-to-day real life who diamond paints, so I was like, this is awesome. But other than that, what did we do while they were here? They're so old now. It's so strange. Like, my oldest niece is 13. She'll be 14 in February. And then my youngest niece is 11. So it's just so strange when they come over now because, you know, when they were little, I always had to have something planned, like an activity or a craft, or we would play games. And now they're just like old. I still like doing crafts and stuff. We painted ornaments is one of the things that we did, but they're just so old and they're okay with like being on their phones, and I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, that was fun. They left just a little bit ago. My sister came to get them, and that was our weekend. Nothing really too exciting otherwise. Obviously, them being here was exciting, but didn't really get anything done. I finished my diamond painting on Friday evening, so I have not diamond painted this weekend, and I probably won't diamond paint tonight because I need to take a start photo. And even though it's only 4:57, it is pretty much dark here. And I try to take my photos with as much natural light as I can. So I'll probably take a start photo when I get home from work tomorrow, and then I'll start diamond painting. So that was kind of a bummer. I guess I could film my post review tonight, but I kind of like to just chill. I like to veg out on Sundays. We do like snacky foods, and we watch whoever's playing football. We'll just have the game on. I think tonight is actually the Raiders, which is my team, although I'm angry at them, so how much longer will they be my team? I don't know. But yeah, so that was our weekend. Looking ahead to next week, I have a training at work tomorrow, which I am not looking forward to. When you guys are seeing this, it will be the day of my training. There's like this new attendance system that they're going to be using, and my department is part of the pilot group. So we have to go to a training so we can learn how to use it and all that fun stuff. And then I'm trying to think of what else is on the agenda for the week. I'm gonna have some hot chocolate. I will try not to slurp into the microphone because I hate that. I think I was successful. Yeah, I don't really think I have anything else going on. Christmas decoration update. I have 4 of our 5 trees up and decorated. All that's left is our bedroom tree. And I started decorating the kitchen. I have a little bit left to do. I didn't think I was going to finish this weekend, but I was kind of like cautiously optimistic, but that's okay. I still need to finish. I need to do our bathroom, which I could probably do after work one day because I just do like a Christmassy shower curtain. I hang up a couple of Christmas sign type things. So maybe tomorrow when I get home from work, I'll do the bathroom. So I have the living room. We have a hutch. I think I've shared it before on my channel. We have my great Aunt Margaret's hutch in our kitchen, not kitchen, in our dining room. And I like to change the decorations out seasonally for that. So I need to do that. And I put the village on top. So that still needs to be done. And I have a little bit left in the kitchen and dining room. And then Christmas will be good on the inside. And then I wait until after Thanksgiving to do the outside because I know not everybody is like me. Not everybody wants to look at Christmas decorations that early. But we don't actually do outside decorations. For whatever reason, when they built our house, they did not put like outside electrical outlets at the front of the house. It's only in the back. So the first year we were here, we did like icicle lights around the perimeter of the house, but they weren't Steven's favorite, so we don't do those anymore. But I do window lights like from the inside of the house. So each window has lights in it, but they hang on the inside, if that makes sense. But I won't put those up until closer to Thanksgiving. So yeah, Christmas decoration status is we're getting there. Not quite done yet. A little bit later than usual, but that's okay. I think that is all in terms of updates and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I think I have 2 tags on my iPad. Let's do the first one. I will link this down below like I always do. This is from a website, Deanie Panda Reads. I don't think they came up with the tags. I think it's just general questions that this person did. Whoops, did not mean to hit that. I will link this down below though if you are looking for tag questions or something for your YouTube videos. I enjoy doing tag questions. I think it's a fun way to get to know people. And if you're someone like me who tries to kind of limit what personal information I put out on the internet, but you need things to talk about in like these longer type videos, I do find that tag questions are a good way to go. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I didn't have any duplicates. Let's go. So, first question is, how many books are too many books in a series? I am somebody who loves long series. I'm currently in the process of reading the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I don't know. And I feel like it's a little bit intimidating because it's so long, but also I think it's so loved because it's so long. So I'm only on book 3. It's not like a main focus for me. It's just something that I kind of have going on in the background. I think there's like 8 or 9 books in that series. So I guess maybe that's a little bit long, but I've read series that are like 22 books. So I love just exploring a world, and I love getting to know all the characters. If it's a big family, I love when every family member has a book. I don't know, I just enjoy meeting characters in book worlds and book series. So I think that there's really no number for me. If I love the first couple of books and I love the world and I love like side characters and stuff, then I want to know what's going on with those side characters. So I don't think I have a number. I'm also someone though who will put off reading a series until the bulk of it is out. So like, I know the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver is very popular, and I own all of the books because I know I will love it, because I read her first, I don't know if it was her first series, but it's a like tie-in series to Chestnut Springs. So I know I'll love Chestnut Springs, but I waited until all the books were out. And now that all of them, 5 or 6, are out, now I'll go read it because I like having the entire series to read. So if I know it's a longer series, I tend to wait until a bulk of the books are out and then I'll start. But I don't know. Yeah, I know I want to read the Zodiac Academy series, which I know is like simultaneously loved and hated in the book community. So I think most of those books are out. So that might be a 2024 reading goal for me to read that series. But anyway, question number 2 is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I have a love-hate relationship with cliffhangers, and I'm one of those people who, like, I do watch some booktubers. I do sometimes watch, I don't really watch book reviews, but I'll watch like reading wrap-ups for like the end of each month, or like TBR lists or whatever. And a lot of times they'll say like, oh my God, there's a huge cliffhanger. If I know that going in, I will wait until the next book is available. There was a book, what was that duology called? There was a duo from, I think it was The Love of My Next Life, and then the second one was like The Love of This Life or something like that. I will see if I can, what am I doing? I'm all frazzled now. That book had a huge cliffhanger at the end, and I had to immediately start the second one. It was like 11:30 at night, and I needed to start the second book. If I have book 2 or book 3 or whatever, I'm okay with it. If I know there's going to be a big cliffhanger, I'll wait to read the first book until the second one is available. Like, I am somebody who will just obsess over it, even though it's like a fictional thing and it doesn't really matter. I will obsess and need to know what happens. So very rarely do I read incomplete series, which we'll talk about that in a second, but I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I actually went and grabbed those 2 books because I knew I was going to forget to look it up. But the books, the duology that I was just talking about, now I can't remember. I think it goes this way. The Love of My Next Life and This Life and All the Rest. This, so good. But the end of book 1, I was like, what the hell just happened? I need to know. So I had to read like the first chapter of book 2 at like 11:30 at night. Okay, question number 3 is hardback or paperback? And I am 100% a paperback person. I will buy hardbacks, but they're just not my favorite because I feel like I need to take off the dust jacket because I don't want to ruin the dust jacket. And they're just so much bulkier and harder to take around with you. So I definitely prefer paperback, but I will say, if I can get a book on Kindle Unlimited, I will read on my Kindle. Like one of the books that I'm going to talk about later in this tag, one of my current reads is on Kindle Unlimited. Even though I have the physical copy, I am reading it on Kindle Unlimited because If I'm reading at night, I don't have to worry about having my book light charged. I can just read it on my Kindle and I'm good to go. So paperback, but if I can read something on Kindle Unlimited, I will, because I just find it much easier. I don't have to worry about what the light's doing, all that fun stuff. Although I am still like a physical book person. I do like to have the physical book. I like to collect books. But yeah. All right, the next question in this tag is a question that I physically cannot answer, because the question is your favorite book. I cannot give you a favorite book. I don't know. I am such a book person. I read 10 to 15 to 20 books a month, depending on what's going on. And I can't give you, I can't give you a favorite book. I would say probably my all-time favorite series for like nostalgia reasons is Harry Potter, just because I know that that's the series that really made me fall in love with reading. Would I say they're my favorite books? Probably not, but it's definitely a very sentimental book series. So I feel like I would probably give that answer, but I have so many other books that I just love that I don't know that that's necessarily a favorite, you know, like top 5 best books I've ever read type of thing. Question 5 is your least favorite book, and I will say anything written by Colleen Hoover is my least favorite. I bought into the Colleen Hoover hype when she kind of first came around, but then I read one of her books and I was like, oh my God. Now, I am not one of those readers who like will shame you for liking a certain type of book. If Colleen Hoover is it for you, if that's like your favorite author, I'm thrilled for you. I'm glad that you are reading. I'm glad that you have a favorite author. I'm glad that you have favorite books. Like, that's great. Colleen Hoover for me is a no. Just not my favorite. I don't like personally what her books are about. I don't like what she projects in her books. Just not a favorite. So that's personal preference. I read one of her books. I think it was Ugly Love. It was her, oh my God, the content in that book was just atrocious. I do have one of her books on my TBR list for November. I cleared out my collection of her things. I bought into the hype. I was like, oh my God, everybody loves this author. I bought a bunch of her books. I read one and I was like, I am throwing all of these out. I did not actually throw them out. I donated them. But I did keep a couple. I saved It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, and November 9th. So November 9th is on my list to read in November. If I don't like it, I will be getting rid of it. But I thought I could try another one, but I don't think I'm gonna like it. Question 6 is, do you like the love triangle trope? No, but I have read books where I liked it. Like, where I didn't hate it, I guess I should say. Like, not my favorite, but when the author makes, I feel like a lot of the time in love triangle books, and if this isn't your cup of tea, I totally understand, but I feel like a lot of times in love triangle books, there's always like a good guy and a bad guy. I have read books where like they purposely make it so that you hate one but you love the other, and they make it like so obvious. I have read love triangle books in the past where it's like you like both guys, like the author writes them well. Is it my favorite thing? No. But is it like an automatic, I'm not reading this book? No. Because honestly, a lot of fantasy books end up having a love triangle trope, and you just kind of have to work your way through it. So not my favorite, but also not like a on my list of will not read tropes. Number 7 is the most recent book you just couldn't finish. I do actually have one for this. it was on, I'm trying to remember if it was an audiobook or if I just had it on Kindle. I think it was a Kindle book, but like the audiobook was free with it. They don't often have books like that, but every once in a while you'll come across an author who will make their audiobook a part of like their Kindle Unlimited thing. And it was called The Vine Witch, and I don't remember who the author was, but it was awful. Like, I started reading or listening, I can't remember, and it's about like a witch who goes missing. She's like was cursed into being a frog by her like ex-fiance or something, and she comes back and her vineyard has been sold to somebody else, and I don't know, I couldn't get into it. It's not that it was necessarily bad, it just wasn't, I wasn't interested. I was like, what am I listening to? This is so not for me. So that was my most recent DNF. And I am not generally someone who does not finish books. I tend to, if I'm reading it, I'm reading it. But every once in a while, I'll catch one that I'm like, I just cannot, I can't deal. Not happening. There's too many other good books and books that I really want to read to waste my time on a book that's just not interesting me. Okay. A book you're currently reading. So, I actually have 2 books that I'm currently reading, and I do tend to have 2 books on the go. I like to have a Kindle book or an audiobook that I have at work, and then I have like my physical book that I read at home. So I am currently reading 2 books. My Kindle book is Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton. This is book 2 in the Sutton Mountain series. The first one was Rewrite Our Story. I'm just started it. I'm only on chapter 3. It's one that I'm really looking forward to because I loved book 1 in the series. So that's my Kindle book. And then, which obviously I have a physical copy of. And then I am also reading, like a lot of people, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is book 2 in the Empyrean, I think is the series name. It's the sequel to Fourth Wing, and I'm on chapter 30. I know a lot of people like breezed through that book. It came out November 7th, I think, and a lot of people like read it all day. They were done with it that day, or they finished it the next day. I am taking my time. I'm taking my time with it. We don't have an announcement for book 3 yet, and I want to enjoy it. So I am. Could I have finished it this weekend? Yes. Could I have rushed through it and finished it the release date? I sure could have, but I didn't want to. So, to each their own though. I should say I wanted to, but I'm refraining because I don't want to miss anything. I want to know that I'm getting all the good deets. I do want to know though, if you are somebody who purchased the physical copy, do you have any of the, what is it called? Do you have any of the, I'm just going to call it like errors. Do you have any of the errors in your book? Like, I have one that does not have the dragon on chapter 17. Let me see here. There are a lot of like printed errors in some of these, and my edition does not have the dragon on chapter 17. So if you purchased a physical copy, let me know if you have any of those issues in your physical copy. I'm just curious. I know one is the dragon missing, then there is one floating around where I think the copyright page says Fourth Wing instead of Iron Flame. I can't remember what the other ones are, but if you have an error in yours, let me know. I'm just curious. I'm not upset about it. I think it makes my copy, different. I didn't even notice it. I was past chapter 17 when I saw that floating around on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. I just figured because it was a longer like quote at the top that they just didn't have room for the dragon. But Anyway, those are the books that I'm reading. I have already read a couple of books this month, and I had my first 5-star in like 2 months. I have not given a book 5 stars since July, I think. So if you're curious what that book that I gave a 5-star was, it was Caught Up by Liz Tom Ford, which is book 3 in the Windy City series. I read a lot of romance and I read a lot of fantasy, so if you don't like those genres, then you probably don't know what they are. But if you do, then you know. All right, let's see here. Oldest book you've read by publication date. I would say the oldest, I don't know what date when it was published, so let's look it up. The book is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I wrote a book report on that. Go away. Picture of Dorian Gray was written in, of course, it's by Oscar Wilde, and it was written in 1890. So that is my oldest book by publication date. Oh, I missed a question. Sorry. Question number 9 is the last book you recommended to someone, and that is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. When my sister was here, I was telling her about it, and I was like, if you want to borrow mine, you can, which I don't lend my books out to people, but especially my sister. My sister she loves books, but she's one of those people who like folds the corners of the pages, and that's all fine. If it's your copy of your book, you do what you want to do. But oh my god, if it's my book, don't even think about folding the corner. I cannot stand it. But yes, I recommended that book to her. I finished that at the beginning of the month, which I don't give memoirs a star rating because it's like somebody's life. How am I going to just rate somebody's life? But if I did, that book definitely would have gotten a 5-star. I was like sobbing through most of it. I annotated the crap out of that book. So that's definitely the last book that I recommended. And then the oldest book that I've read by publication is The Picture of Dorian Gray, which was written in 1890. Newest book that you've read by publication date. I have read a lot of November releases this month. I just finished Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, and that also came out on the 7th of November. It was just shorter than Iron Flame, so I finished it faster. But I finished that one. I think Caught Up came out in October. So I guess it would be Love Redesigned then. That one was really cute too. That one was, it was a little bit deeper than your typical romance, I'll say. That's all I'll say. If you're interested, it was really good. I gave it 4.75 stars. It didn't quite give me that 5-star feeling, but I did really enjoy reading it. All right, favorite author. I love Macaulay Smeltzer is her name, one of the authors that I read a lot of her books. She wrote The Confidence of Wildflowers and The Resurrection of Wildflowers, which I have talked about on my channel. When I used to talk about books, one of my favorite duologies. I also really do like Lauren Asher. I like Liz Tom Ford. Sarah J. Maas. Obviously, I'm trying to think of some author names. You know when you like, sometimes when you're answering questions and everything like just leaves your head? That's how I feel right now. All right, $9.50. Here it is. Buying books or borrowing books? both. I do have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, and I do read a lot of books on Kindle Unlimited, but I also really love having physical copies of books. I really do. I don't know if I could just ever not own physical copies of books. I don't know. My little section of my bedroom, which is my personal little library, which I was planning to show you guys in this video, but it is dark and we don't have the best overhead lighting in our bedroom, so it's not going to look very nice, but I promise I will show it to you at some point. I have been talking about that for a while now. But yeah, I just couldn't imagine not owning physical copies of books. I just love books so much. I love looking at them. I don't know, I'm a book person. So I do borrow a lot from Kindle Unlimited. I don't borrow like from the library. I would say a healthy combination of both. I don't buy every Kindle Unlimited book that I borrow. There are books that I just read on Kindle Unlimited and then I'm done with them. But if it's something that I really love that I read on Kindle Unlimited, or if it's a series that I've started, I will buy the physical copy. And if it's a book that's not available on Kindle Unlimited, I'll tend to just physically buy the book versus buying the Kindle copy. A book that you dislike that everyone else seems to love. Ooh. Anything Colleen Hoover? I mean, there are definitely a few that I've read this year that I read on the recommendation of others that were like, this is the best thing I've ever read. And then I read it and I was like, oh, okay. But nothing is really coming. Oh, okay. There was a book by Abby Jimenez, who is another author that I really like. It was called, what was that book called? Part of Your World? Yeah, it was called Part of Your World. It was a reverse age gap, and the woman was a doctor, and the guy was, I think he owned a bed and breakfast. And that book, man, everybody was raving about that book. I did not like it. I do have the second book in the series. I have not read it yet. That book, I was like, I'm sorry. This is like a 40-year-old woman who is still being controlled by her parents. Absolutely not. No. That is not happening. And she was like going to be okay with like giving up the love of her life because her parents told her so. No. No, everybody's like, she's such a strong woman. I'm like, no, she's not. She's really not. So yeah, didn't like that one. I gave it like 2 stars. We'll see if I like the second one better. Bookmarks or dog ears? We touched on this before. Bookmarks. I have so many different types of bookmarks. I make my own bookmarks. So no folding the corner down in this house. Absolutely not. A book you can always reread. Ugh. I'm going to say Harry Potter. I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings on Harry Potter at this point, and I totally get it. Totally valid feelings. You don't have to love the author to love the books. Those books, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, were just shaped my reading journey. I think a lot of people who are my age feel the same way. I can always reread that, and I love to reread it. I also love to reread Twilight. I don't know why. I think it's just because of like, it takes me back. I think it's more of like a sentimental thing, but I love rereading like Twilight, anything from like those kind of, that time period of my life. 3064. All right. Ugh. I am making a mess. And I'm annoyed that I have to film so late. Feeling a little disgruntled right now, but that's okay. I keep looking at the clock. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go make dinner. All right, next question. Can you read while hearing music? Sometimes. It's so interesting. Like, sometimes, a lot of the time, I should say, with some of the romances that I read that are like more cutesy, they don't require a lot of brain power. I can read those with like people around me or with the TV on or with music on. It doesn't really bother me. But some of the more like high fantasy books that I read where you need to use your brain, I do kind of struggle with focusing if there's a lot of background noise. So I guess it's more so depending on what I'm reading. That's why, like, at work, when I have like a Kindle book or an audio book, I prefer to read something a little less immersive, where I don't have to be super focused and I can just kind of listen and I'm good. Like a book like Iron Flame, where I really want to pick everything up. I don't want to miss anything. I wouldn't read that at work, like on my breaks, because there's people around doing other things. But a book like Tempt Our Fate, which is my current Kindle book, I can read that with people around doing whatever, because it's not super involved. It's just you know, I don't want to say it's just a romance, but it is. It's a romance that I don't feel like I need to be picking up every single little piece of information. Whereas with a high fantasy book, I do want to do that. So yes and no, I guess, is my answer to that question. Next question is one or multiple POVs. I'm definitely a multiple POV kind of person. I like to know what each character is thinking about each other. I don't mind if there's like 4 or 5 point of views in a book. I like seeing the story from all angles. Obviously in a romance, I do like to see what both characters are like feeling about each other, what they're thinking. But I definitely like multiple point of views. I want to know everything. I'm nosy, right? Like, I want to know. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What's going on in your head? So definitely multiple points of view. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? It depends on the book. There are plenty of books that I'll sit down in the evening, a couple hours later, I'm done. I do feel like I'm a pretty fast reader, and I feel like I retain a lot of the information that I'm reading, even though I'm reading it fast. But there are some books, again, like Iron Flame, where I don't want to miss anything. So I'm really taking my time, and I have to tell myself, like, it's not a race, just enjoy the book. So yeah, it depends. I can do either. Either or. Okay, and number 20. A book you've read because of the cover. I don't really know. I am not someone who... I don't subscribe to any of those, like, what are they called? Like, the specialty subscription boxes, like Illuma Crate, or what's the other one? I can't think of the other one. I don't subscribe to those. I do have some books that I have multiple versions of. Like, I have the hardcovers and the paperbacks of Harry Potter. I have the hardcovers and the paperbacks of the ACOTAR series. Like, there are some books that I have a couple of covers of, but I don't really collect special editions. I would love to, but, you know, the funds end somewhere, and I would rather just pick up the standard copy so that I have money to spend on other things like diamond painting. Like, I remember when Fourth Wing came out, everybody, I don't even think half of them have been released yet, but like a lot of the subscription boxes were offering their own version of Fourth Wing, and like, sure, I would have loved to have picked them up, but those things are like $70 a pop, and there's just no way that I'm spending that on a book. And also, we don't have a very big house, so once I outgrow my bookshelves, kind of SOL, shit out of luck. 3721, 3771, 3772, 3779, 3790, 3799. Okay, we're almost done. I think I'm just going to do the one book tag. Again, I'll leave this one linked down below. Also, I'm going to disappoint you guys, and I apologize. I will not be choosing my accessories and stuff with you guys, but my next kit up video will definitely have that. It's 20 to 6, and I have not even started dinner yet. I have to fold laundry. I need to take a shower. My niece is staying a little bit later, kind of foiled my plans for the afternoon and evening, so I apologize. But again, my next kitting up video will definitely have choosing accessories and stuff. For sure. I'm trying to do those once a month because I know that you guys enjoy them, and I do like working on them, or I like doing them with you as well, because it's kind of fun to talk through my accessories process and everything. So definitely look forward to that. As for Wednesday's video, I do have a Diamond Art Club painting to unbox. It's one that I've had sitting for a while. It's a restock that I picked up. So I guess I could kind of phone it in and do that unboxing, but I've done a lot of Diamond Art Club unboxings lately, so I don't know. Let me know in the description. What do you guys want to see on Wednesday? I could potentially do a spare drill reorganization. I think we're up to my square ABs. This is going up on Monday. I'll probably film either Monday or Tuesday evening, so let me know. Would you rather see a Diamond Art Club unboxing or a spare drill reorganization? The Diamond Art Club unboxing is an older kit. It's not a new release. It was a restock that was on my wish list that I picked up quite a while ago, but it is sitting there waiting to be opened. And eventually I do need to finish my, did I say spare drills? I meant my special drills, my special drill reorganization. So you decide, tell me in the comments what I should film, and I will do it. And then, like I said, Friday will be a, I don't know if I'm gonna title it Post Review Friday. I probably will. Or if it's going to be like show and tell, share and tell. I don't quite know. But the kit did turn out really nice. This is Poppy that we're talking about from DIAMONDPAINTIngsBYLAURA. That was my kit for DP for Vets. So we will go over all of that good stuff. I think we're almost done. There's no lids. $37.99. Now, for this kit, I am thinking, if you've read ACOTAR, then you know that Lucien has a golden eye, like he has a prosthetic eye. So I'm thinking I need to go through my square special drills and see what I have. I know I don't have any sparklers for squares because I don't like the idea of putting round drills in a square kit. Personal preference. But I feel like I might have some square crystals. And I think that it would look really neat to have $37.99. Okay, I do think it would look neat to have the crystals there or something gold. I think it would look cool. So I need to do a little bit of investigating into my stash to figure that out. But other than that, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. I know that through Jade's site, there's a separate listing where you can add however many ABs that you want. I did not do that for my orders, so I don't have any special drills from Jade. I would be interested to see what she would have added to this one, but I'll be on my own. So we'll see what I come up with. Obviously, I will talk about that in a post review. 38.62. Just that little bag. $38.63. We're almost there. This, okay. I'm kind of shocked that I'm going to say this because I've been diamond painting now for over 4 years, I'm pretty sure. And this is the first man that I will ever have diamond painted. I think companies are starting to, fix this, but the number of kits with men are just so much less than all of the beautiful, women diamond painting that we have. But I was thinking, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the first male that I will ever have diamond painted, which is kind of wild. I've done well over 100 kits. I think I'm up to like 125 or something maybe. And this will be my first male diamond painting. So that's exciting. Just found some trash drills already. Cool. So yeah, I thought that was a fun little tidbit, fun little fact. All right, I've got these here and then I am done. And I am going to say goodbye. All right, there we go. Please don't mind. I just had a message up on my phone, so I hope I didn't lose anything that I was just talking about, but please don't mind the mess on my desk. We have all of our colors here, and here is another peek at our diamond painting. I can't remember who the artist is for this one, but I will have it in the description and probably in the title of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's kit and chat. Sorry it's a little bit random, but my day did not go as planned, but I did not want to leave you guys without a video again. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you would be more interested in seeing on Wednesday. Again, I have an older Diamond Art Club to unbox, or we can do some reorganizing of my special drills. So let me know down below. I hope everybody had a great Monday, and I will see you guys hopefully on Wednesday. Bye.